Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're looking at the modern music industry. It's quite a place.
It really is. It's somehow the most accessible it's ever been for creators.
Like, anyone can upload a track.
Exactly. But at the same time, financially, it can be incredibly tough, even unforgiving.
That's the core conflict we want to dig into today, isn't it? Trying to make sense of these two, well, conflicting realities.
Yeah. On one side, you've got this massive global streaming machine, billions in revenue, huge growth.
It sounds great on paper.
But then you look at the data, and it shows that most working musicians just aren't earning a sustainable income from it. The system seems broken for them.
Okay, but then there's the other side, this rise of independent artists.
And that's the fascinating part. They've got this unprecedented power now, this autonomy. They're completely sidestepping the old gatekeepers, the labels.
So we want to show you how that's actually happening because, yeah, the economic model seems flawed for many, but these independent artists, they've found ways to fight back.
They really have. They're using new tools, new strategies, building their own empires, essentially. It's a kind of a digital rebellion.
And we've pulled together some really interesting sources for this. We've got official submissions on streaming economics, like from the Incorporated Society of Musicians, the ISM.
And alongside that, we've looked at, well, blue points, really. Marketing guides showing how independents are making platforms like Spotify and TikTok work for them.
So let's start with the problem, the crisis. Because those ISM numbers you mentioned, they're pretty stark.
They are sobering. I mean, the industry is growing globally thanks to streaming, huge numbers. But get this, 55% of UK musicians still earn less than £20,000 a year from music.
Wow. So the money's there in the industry overall.
Oh, yeah. To total value is massive. The problem isn't the size of the pie. It's how the pie is sliced. It's distribution. Structurally, that value just isn't flowing down effectively.
And you mentioned structure. The root cause isn't just like low pennies per stream, is it? It's deeper.
Much deeper. It boils down to a structural power imbalance. It's baked right into the system.
Okay, explain that. Why is that imbalance so, well, persistent?
It really stems from the contracts. The streaming platforms, the DSPs, digital service providers, they primarily sign deals with the rights holders.
Which usually means the major labels or publishers?
Exactly. Not directly with the musicians themselves. Not the performers, the songwriters, the composers. They're one step removed.
Or there's no direct relationship there?
Almost none. And because of that, the DSPs have very little, direct incentive to push for changes that would benefit the individual creator's bottom line.
And adding to that, the sources mention NDAs, non-disclosure agreements being used.
Yes, widely used between DSPs and rights holders. And the ISM points out this makes it basically impossible for musicians to know if they have been paid correctly.
That's incredible. It cripples any ability to audit your own earnings. Has it always been this opaque?
Look, opacity has often benefited the powerful in music deals. That's not new. But the sheer scale of digital streaming has just magnified the problem massively.
Okay, so this structural issue, this lack of transparency, it feeds into pay disparities too, like the split between different kinds of rights.
Absolutely. One of the biggest fault lines is the split between master rights and publishing rights royalties.
Okay, let's break that down quickly for listeners. Master rights versus publishing rights. What's the difference, and why does it matter so much here?
Right. So the master right refers to the actual sound recording, the specific version you hear on Spotify or Apple Music.
Usually owned by the record label, or if you're independent, by the artist.
Correct. Then you have the publishing rights. That's for the underlying song, the notes, the melody, the lyrics, the composition itself.
Which belongs to the songwriter or composer.
Yes. And the core issue is that streaming services pay out significantly more revenue for the master rights compared to the publishing rights.
So the person who actually wrote the song, the composer, the lyricist, they're getting a smaller piece of the streaming pie compared to whoever owns the recording.
That's pretty much it. And the ISM's argument isn't necessarily to take money away from the master side.
Okay.
They're advocating for parity by increasing the total amount of revenue that gets allocated to royalties overall. So lifting the publishing side up rather than cutting the master side down, making the whole pot bigger for creators.
Which leads us to the business model itself. The critique that the value of a single stream is elastic. I hear that term a lot. What does it mean for, say, my monthly subscription?
It's a crucial point. It means the actual cash value of any one stream isn't fixed. It changes month to month.
Wow.
It depends on two main things: The total pool of money collected by the DSP that month from subscriptions, plus any ad revenue, and the total number of streams across the entire platform globally.
Okay, so my $10 doesn't go just to the artist I listen to.
Nope. It goes into this enormous global pot first. Then it's divided up by total stream share. So the value of your specific stream fluctuates based on billions of other streams.
Which means, as the ISM puts it, there's little correlation between the subscription fee a consumer pays and the royalty received by the musicians they have been listening to.
Precisely. Your listening habits are diluted in this massive pool.
It feels designed to obscure the value almost.
Well, whether designed or not, that's the effect. And this ties into another worry, algorithmic curation.
Ah, the algorithms. What are the concerns there?
There are a few. One is the rise of what some call digital payola.
A payola. Like the old radio scandal, paying to get your song played.
Kind of, yeah. The concern is about third-party playlist curators potentially taking payments to place tracks on popular playlists. It's not the DSPs directly, usually, but these influential independent curators.
Recreating the old corruption, just in a digital space.
It's a modern twist on an old problem. And then there's another risk. What if the DSPs themselves become major right shoulders?
Wait, like Spotify owning the music itself?
Some are exploring moves in that direction, like signing artists or owning catalogs.
Wow.
If that happens, there's a real risk they could start prioritizing their own music in their algorithms.
Which would obviously disadvantage every independent artist out there.
Massively. It would distort the playing field completely.
Okay, it sounds like the system is, well, pretty challenging for artists relying solely on that traditional streaming payout.
It absolutely can be.
But let's pivot, because the other sources we looked at paint a very different picture. This is where it gets exciting. The independents are not just surviving, they're thriving.
They really are. The scale of the independent sector is just huge now. We're talking over 7 million artists globally releasing music.
7 million. And how many are signed?
Get this. Only about 5% are signed to a traditional record label. The vast majority are independent.
Wow. And they're making real money.
The independent sector now commands over 36% of the total market share. They are a major commercial force, no question.
So how are they doing it? What's the first step in this rebellion?
It often starts with branding, but not corporate branding. The sources, especially looking at hip-hop, describe it as a fundamental refusal to be cookie-cutter.
It's about identity, not just marketability.
Exactly. It's authentic. Look at different subcultures, like underground rap. Their brand is built on integrity, skill, community respect. It's often actively anti-mainstream. Authenticity is the brand.
Or something like drill rap.
Yeah, drill. The brand is pure, gritty realism. Using the specific visuals and slang of their neighborhood, the block numbers, the local references, they turn that hyper-local credibility into something that resonates globally.
And then you've got artists in conscious rap,
where the identity is inseparable from the message, from political principles. The brand is the philosophy. They're selling a worldview, a movement, not just music.
So the core idea is that for these artists, marketing isn't some separate, unpleasant chore.
Not at all. They treat marketing as another canvas for creativity. It's part of the art itself.
Selling a story, then. Narrative branding seems key.
Totally. You need that layered persona. Think about MF Doom's Mask turning anonymity into this iconic, legendary thing. Or artists who vlog their entire journey, the struggle, the come-up, radical transparency as a brand.
And this creativity spills into, well, actual stunts. Things that just grab attention.
Oh, yeah. The showmanship is amazing. We've seen artists doing citywide scavenger hunts for new merch. Really elaborate stuff.
I read about one unsigned rapper who bought a billboard.
Yeah. The billboard just said, the album drops when you call this number, and the number played snippets. Genius.
That's brilliant. Taking an old school medium like a billboard and making it interactive, urgent.
It perfectly blends that old hustle mentality with new school engagement.
Yeah.
And another key thing they do differently, they don't work in isolation like the old label model often forced artists to.
They collaborate.
Massively. They form collectives, they cross-promote constantly. There's real strength in numbers.
Kind of like historical examples, Wu-Tang Clan, maybe.
Yeah.
Or Master P's No Limit.
Exactly those kinds of models, building an ecosystem, creating leverage together, supporting each other. It's a powerful strategy.
Okay, so we've got the creative hustle, the branding, the collectives. Let's talk about section 3, the practical side. Mastering the tools, owning the audience, making the money work.
Right, the nuts and bolts. because the financial reality means you have to contrast the piney streaming payouts with models that offer direct fan support.
Like Bandcamp.
Bandcamp is a huge one. The sources consistently highlight it as the artist-friendly marketplace, and the numbers back it up.
What kind of numbers?
On average, 82% of the money spent on Bandcamp goes directly to the artist or their label, often within 24 to 48 hours.
82%, compared to fractions of a penny per stream.
It's a different universe. It fundamentally changes the relationship. The fan isn't just a passive consumer, they become a patron, directly supporting the artist they love.
Speaking of direct connection ownership,
Yeah.
the sources stress focusing on things you own.
Yes. Forget chasing algorithms on social media sometimes. The real long-term power, the asset you truly control, is your email list. And maybe your text message list.
Why is that so crucial?
Because unlike followers on Instagram or TikTok, where the platform controls who sees your posts, you own your mailing list. If Facebook shuts down tomorrow, you still have that direct line to your core fans. It's invaluable. That direct line is gold.
But, okay, for getting new fans, for discovery, social media still plays a huge role, right? Especially short-form video.
Oh, absolutely. Short form is king for discovery right now. The data is really clear on this.
What did the survey show?
Social media overall is the top discovery tool. 68% of people cited it. That's way ahead of streaming playlists, which were at 47%.
Okay. And within social media?
TikTok is the single most influential platform specifically for music discovery. 49% named it. Its algorithm is seen as this great equalizer. It doesn't care as much if you have a label backing you or not. Good content can fly.
So the strategy is pretty clear then. Yeah. Use short, catchy clips on TikTok or Reels. Usually the hook of your song to grab attention, create curiosity.
And then funnel that interest somewhere deeper. The full song on Spotify, the music video on YouTube, your Bandcamp page.
Exactly. But the key is consistency. You can't just post once and hope.
Right. The algorithm rewards regular activity. The sources recommend posting daily or at least every other day if you really want to maximize reach.
And it needs variety too. High-quality performance clips, sure, but also interactive things like challenges or POV trends, and crucially, authentic behind-the-scenes stuff. Build that connection.
Okay, so you hook them on TikTok, you build your email list, maybe sell some merch on Bandcamp, but Spotify is still massive. How do independents manage that platform effectively?
That's where Spotify for Artists S4A comes in. It's basically the control center for any artist on the platform. Optimizing your profile and using its tools is critical.
And playlists are still a big deal there, right? Even the algorithmic ones.
Huge. Getting on playlists is vital for discoverability. And the main way to influence that, especially for new releases, is pitching through the S4A dashboard.
And there's a specific timeline for that.
Yes. You need to submit your track for playlist consideration at least 3 weeks before the release date. 3 weeks. Why so early? And is it worth it if, realistically, only maybe 20% get onto those big editorial playlists?
It's absolutely worth it, because even if you don't land an editorial spot, pitching through S4A guarantees your new track will appear on the Release Radar playlist for everyone who follows you.
Ah, Release Radar. That personalized playlist. Okay, that's a guaranteed touch point with your existing fans?
Exactly. It's a massive visibility boost you simply don't get otherwise. You skip the pitch, you miss out on Release Radar.
Got it. And beyond pitching, S4A is about data, right? Analytics.
Totally. Data drives everything for successful independence. S4A provides invaluable analytics.
Like what kind of data?
Listener demographics, age, gender, where they are geographically, engagement metrics, how many people save your track, add it to their own playlists, share it, even the skip rate, how quickly people move on from your song.
And knowing all that helps you make smarter decisions.
Absolutely. It tells you where your audience is, so maybe where to tour. It tells you what songs resonate, maybe what kind of content to make more of. It informs your targeted advertising on social media. It's crucial intel.
Okay, so you use the free tools, the analytics. But what if an independent artist does have a bit of marketing budget? Is there anything effective within Spotify?
There is. One source really highlighted Spotify's own paid promotion tool called Marquee.
Marquee? How does that work?
It's basically a full-screen sponsored recommendation of your new release. It pops up for listeners who have shown interest in your music before but maybe haven't heard the new track yet. It targets likely fans.
And is it effective compared to, say, running Facebook ads?
According to the studies cited, incredibly effective. Marquee apparently delivers, on average, 10 times more Spotify listeners for every dollar spent compared to similar social media ads.
10 times.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah.
That's not just a small improvement. That changes the whole calculation for marketing spend.
It really does. It suggests that advertising within the listening environment, targeting people already primed to like your music, is vastly more efficient.
And does it just boost that one track?
No, that's the other interesting part. It seems to create a halo effect. People who are prompted by Marquee often go on to stream the artist's other music too, their back catalog. It reactivates listeners and deepens engagement across the board.
Okay, so let's try and bring this all together. We're standing at this really weird intersection.
Yeah. On one hand, the old industry model, the streaming economy, it feels broken for many creators. Opaque deals, skewed royalties, structural problem.
But on the other hand,
these tools of digital rebellion, strong branding based on real identity, owning your audience directly through email, using short-form video as a funnel, analyzing data relentlessly, maybe even using smart tools like Marquee Allying. They're giving independent artists more genuine power than they've ever had before.
so the key takeaway here for you, for anyone listening, especially creators, what is it?
I think it's this. The most successful independent artists today, they don't see marketing as something separate, something they have to do after the art is made.
Right.
They treat marketing as an essential creative extension of their art. The hustle, the branding, the storytelling, the fan connection, that is part of the performance now. It's integrated.
That makes sense. The art and the business have merged. Which leads us to a final thought, something maybe provocative to leave you with.
Okay.
We're hearing it more and more in the music itself, right?
Yeah.
Independent artists, especially in hip-hop, rapping and singing about owning their masters, building their own empires, rejecting bad deals.
Yeah, that narrative is definitely getting louder.
So, as their cultural influence keeps growing, and as their independent business models become more obviously viable, the big question is, will this rising cultural tide eventually force the old, established industry to fundamentally change its terms, to adapt to the artists? Or will the artists, empowered by these new tools and this independent spirit, simply continue building their own thing and eventually just render the old industry obsolete?
Something to think about.